morning and welcome to a special edition of Social Media Pie. This is my LinkedIn Live series. Hey, good morning and welcome. My name is Brenda Meller. I help business professionals get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. And part of the way I do that is by keeping myself visible and bringing on amazing guests onto my show. I call this Social Media Pie because I bring on inspiring people. That is the P. And today I have on my fabulous intern, Sara Hammoudeh. Hey, Sara, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Brenda. Thank you for having me.
Good. Well, I'm excited. Looking forward to the conversation today. This is a little bit of a different approach to what I'm doing in this LinkedIn Live. And I really want to have a lot of audience participation. You can see we've got a ticker running below. And I love it if you're watching right now, whether you're watching live or in playback, if you could please leave a comment. It's kind of like the mic tap equivalent. Like, is this thing on? Are you guys picking up what we're laying down here? It lets us know if the live stream is working. So please drop that in. And so we bring on inspiring people, that's the P, to inform and educate you. And in this case, the inform and educate you is going to be directed towards helping new college graduates with their job search. And that, in fact, describes Sara. If you haven't met Sara yet, she's been working with me since, I think, October. Does that sound right, Sara?
Yes, October.
All right. And she's become like a little bit of a lifeline for me. I'm giving her a lot of work over the past few months. And what I try to do with interns that I work with is I start with small projects. And as I gain trust and confidence, and as they gain confidence and increase their speed on completing projects, I add more onto their plate. And Sara's at that point where she's knocking every ball I'm giving her out of the park, and she's doing a really great job. But I don't want to be holding her back. I really want to support her and helping her to find her first full-time dream job. I see the live stream is working, Sara. We've got folks that are watching. Hey, Marcello, thank you so much. We've got Kenneth Lang, who's a fellow LinkedIn trainer and coach, and he also works with those in career transition. So we are going to help you out today. And we've got Gary on with us. Gary, you rock as well. So thank you. So we're going to get started with the conversation in just a few minutes here. I want to let those folks know that are watching us. If you know of a college graduate, a recent college graduate, or maybe a college junior or senior, somebody who's going to be looking for a job soon, I want you to tag them in comments now. Whether they join us live or watch us in playback, they are going to learn and they're going to get some great benefits from our conversation today. All right, Sara. So, I think you know what's coming next. We do a weekly VIP job seeker office hours call. And typically we do this introduction in chat. But today I'm going to have you introduce yourself live. And you'll remember what I look for in your introduction is tell people a bit about, first, we're just going to tell us your targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, and then I'll ask you some other questions as we go along here.
Okay, well, I am looking for a digital marketing or social media specialist role. It can be remote, but mainly in the Detroit metropolitan area.
All right, awesome. So I'm gonna back up and pull some additional questions in here because there may be somebody watching who's looking to hire and maybe hire a person with your qualifications. So let's back up and tell me a little bit about why you chose marketing as a career path and as a degree field for what you're studying.
Okay, so I chose digital marketing mainly because I loved social media and everything that goes against like advertising and stuff like that. I really just enjoyed the classes I was taking at the U of M, University of Michigan Dearborn, and I just really enjoyed it. And then I found you with the internship, and you just confirmed it all for me.
Oh, yay. And I remember when I interviewed Sara, I took her through the same process I take every intern through. Everybody who applies gets a look from me. I don't use ATS or anything. It's just me. So I reviewed all the materials and I will typically tell the applicants, I'll say I'm interested in moving on if I feel like they would be a match. But first, I want you to go back to your career services department. And in your case, it was at U of M Dearborn, and have them review your resume and then come back to me when you have your resume reviewed, and then let's set up an interview. So tell me a little bit first about that process. Did you go back to career services and tell us about the advice they gave you on your resume?
Yes. So when I did go back to my career services, I was still a student at the university. So it was very easy to get in and get in contact with somebody. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, I just want to get my resume looked over, fixed up if there's anything that needs to be fixed up. And within, I think, a few days, they revised it, sent back some suggestions. They obviously said, if you don't want to take these suggestions, that's fine. But
Mhm.
these are what we recommend. Fixed it up and I sent it back to you.
Awesome. So was it helpful?
It was very helpful, yes, and
And
they
go ahead.
just made little comments here and there.
So how much did you pay to have them look at your resume for you?
I paid $0.
And I asked that. I know the answer to this, but I asked that because there are many college students or recent graduates who aren't aware that their college or career or university has a career services department. And usually they all do. I believe for students, they're free. For some graduates, I think like Michigan State University is one where you have to join their alumni associations to still get access to their career services.
Mhm.
But part of this is like, this is what they do for a living. They look at resumes all the time, and they're going to look through it through an eye and through a lens that you are not going to as yourself, because it's really hard to take that impartial look at yourself. So you got your
Mhm.
resume updated, you came back to me. I mean, we did an interview, you interviewed wonderfully, of course, and you went through the screening process. We started working in October. So tell us a little bit about, and then think about, Sarah, there might be a potential hiring manager watching this interview, as we're talking here today. Tell us a little bit about what you learned in your internship that you could bring into a role as a digital marketing specialist.
Well, I learned a lot as far as like different social media roles go. So I work with like LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I make graphics for book sales, book reviews, upcoming events, and weekly webinars. These LinkedIn Lives I've learned a lot about. I do like the pre LinkedIn process, the post LinkedIn process, and now I'm learning about the actual process and like doing everything. This is my first LinkedIn Live. I'm learning, and then I'm going to be working with you to do them. And I respond and interact as the brand Meller Marketing on social media. I publish and republish blogs on your website. I fix things on the website. I design things, some things on the website. I help, some people with complaints. There's multiple things that I've learned that you've taught me and I can take anywhere.
That's awesome. Great job. And I part of what we do every week, Sarah, we do a weekly coaching call project review. And I have a template that I've used throughout the years, and I think it works really well. And I think it's like projects, I don't know the order exactly, but it's like projects completed this week, projects assigned, not yet begun. We have like upcoming events and meetings. And then at the bottom, there's a couple other categories, but at the bottom, it's what did I learn this week?
Hmm.
And, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've noted in that section, and how you might use that in your future career.
Yeah, so I've learned a lot as far as like what websites to use for certain things, how to go about certain, if there's like a hiccup here and there, who to contact, where to contact them, not to immediately jump to you and be like, this isn't working, what do I do? I've had to troubleshoot some things and, learn kind of how to do it on myself. But I know at the end of the day, if I do need help, you are there for me. And then if I can't, figure something out, there's ways to look it up and try to figure it out
Mhm.
differently. You've taken suggestions that I've had. If something isn't working, I've suggested it to you, but not in like a forcefully way.
Mhm.
And yeah.
That's awesome. So applying critical thinking skills is what I
Hmm.
look at there. And I don't like to always give you. I mean, in the beginning of the internship, I would give you the answers all the time,
Yeah.
because you don't know, you're learning your way through it. And then as the internship evolves, you get to the point where you're really starting to anticipate what I might say, and you're going to probably ask me, look, to talk to Kajabi help, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yep, I'm not going to tell you. I could tell you, but I want you to figure out how to use it, because the reality is, when you start in an entry level marketing role, the organization may not have somebody else who works in marketing, and they're going to rely
Hmm.
on you to do the troubleshooting, the research, the work that goes along the way. Or they may have somebody who is very advanced and involved in marketing, but they're going to appreciate the fact that you're going to try to figure the answer out before coming to them. Now, I want to ask you one more question about kind of where you are, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the job search in a minute here. So tell me, what have you learned? What did you learn in your degree, in your program at U of M, that you've applied into the internship? How is that? Tell me about connecting the dots there.
Something that I've learned is how to attract the right demographic and your target audience. And I
Mhm.
like had just learned that and who to attract and how to attract them. And then at the time I was taking the class aligned with the time I was just starting the internship. So I was able to apply some of those things, as well as creating content calendars. I actually
Mhm.
learned that through you. And then I was able to take that to a class and create a content calendar for a brand in my class.
That's awesome. And there may be some folks that are watching that have heard of a content calendar, but they don't know really what it is. Sarah, can you
Mhm.
describe for us at a high level what is a content calendar
Yes,
and why should you use one?
yes, a content calendar is basically a calendar for the month, and or it just describes all of the upcoming social media posts that you plan to post, certain days, certain dates. You know, if there's certain holidays that relate back to the brand that you're doing it with. And then like a description and what social media platform you're posting on. Very beneficial. So it's all planned out in front of you. So you're not scrambling. Oh no, we need to post today. What do we post? It's all right there for you.
Awesome. Great job. So, and none of this is rehearsed. I didn't give her any of the questions in advance. This is all like, things that we talk about week to week in our weekly coaching calls and meetings. And Sarah comes on my VIP sessions as well. And we have a lot of conversations through chat and email as well. So now let's shift gears and let's talk about, okay, now you've graduated. You graduated in April. Am I remembering
Yes.
correctly?
End of April, yes.
And what was your degree?
It was just a business degree, but majoring in digital marketing.
Wonderful. And so tell me so far, what have you done for your job search? Talk to me about resume, applying for jobs, processes a
Mhm.
little bit.
So I have updated my resume and I have been looking on LinkedIn and Indeed for jobs,
Mhm.
or just Googling certain like digital marketing brands. And then from there, going on their websites, going under careers. The ones that I found interesting, I have applied for. And then sometimes I follow up with, if I can find someone to follow up with, connect with them on LinkedIn and then message them saying, I found you through your brand.
Okay, awesome. So you're starting to connect some of the dots there. So you're
Mhm,
doing kind of the obvious part of the process, which is looking at the job boards, which is
mhm.
good. You should, looking at Indeed and looking at LinkedIn, and then you've also made a targeted list of your companies that appeal to you. And I heard you say in the beginning you're looking at either Metro Detroit or remote. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you started applying for jobs. So are you getting any responses back yet? And how many jobs do you think you've applied for so far?
I have not really heard anything back. I've heard some, denials, but nothing
Mhm.
huge. And I've applied for 12 so far.
Okay. All right, good. And as we're having this conversation, I now want to start to tag in our audience and ask if you have any suggestions or questions that you want me to ask Sarah about this process because I want to do a little bit of troubleshooting and we've only I mean I like make myself a part of your job search. You have only been looking really I mean, you probably started in May. Was that right? Like
Yeah,
after
I
you finished
may.
all your classes, right? And
Yes.
then you had your resume updated. Was that in May as well?
Yes, in May.
Okay, good. Have you ever gone back with your career services department with your updated resume yet? I don't think I've asked you that yet.
I have not, but I should.
That's a good point. Now that you've got the internship added on there as well, go back and
Hmm.
have them give a once over on it and see if there's anything else
Hmm.
they might add. So you've been starting the process really in May, applied 12 jobs so far. So for those 12 opportunities, you've heard back from a few, and that happens. They give you the thank you, but no thank you, or we fill the position, we're moving in a
Hmm.
direction. You're not quite the fit we're looking for. And then the other ones are kind of lingering out there. Have you thought about doing any follow-up with those ones that you've not heard back from?
I have not.
Okay, so there's going to be my first tip for you, and I'm going to start to add some tips into the banners here as well. So, folks that are watching, whether they're watching now or watching in playback, I'm just going to say follow up with, and I'll say job opportunities that are of top interest. Now, you might have some that you're like, maybe, maybe not. But, if
Hmm.
there's ones that you're like, wow, this would be an amazing opportunity, I want you to take the time to follow up with that. If you can find an email for a recruiter or hiring manager, email them direct. If
Okay.
you can figure out who the person was that placed the job or posted the job, maybe it was on LinkedIn and they reshared it, or it was on the company page, but it looks like they reshared it and they have hiring manager or rather HR manager or recruiter or something in their job title. You could try to invite them to connect, and then once you connect with them, click on their contact info and email them direct. Or just message them, try to message them
Hmm.
through LinkedIn. Hi, I saw that XYZ company is hiring for a digital marketing specialist. I applied a few weeks ago. I'm really excited about this opportunity and wondering where you're at in the process. So it's not a push my resume through to them type of response. It's more like, waving your hand. I'm over here. I'm interested because let's assume, Sarah, that for these 12 positions you've applied for, there are 200 to 300 applicants for each position. Could
Mhm.
be. I mean, it could be 40 applicants, it could be 10, could be 4, 5,000, who knows? But let's assume they're getting a lot of candidate response in the position. And let's assume that no response just means they haven't looked at you yet. Let's assume
Right.
that. So if you start raising your hand, hey, I'm interested, I'm really interested in this opportunity. Where are you at in the process? What I might do is look through that stack of resumes and pull yours out and go, oh, I have yours in here. And then we can get a conversation started. And I'll invite my audience again. If you have any additional tips for Sara on this process, please add them into comments. I'll start pulling your comments up on screen. I see a couple questions coming in that are going to take us in another direction. So I'm going to hold off on that for just a second. So do that follow up. And then what I would recommend that you do is if you can get a hold of a person and you can get into their email box or their in-mail messages on LinkedIn, do that once, give them about 2 weeks, and then do it again and say, if I don't hear back from you, at that point, I would say I will try back next month. So give them
Okay.
30 days. So I would probably do 2 initial outreaches within a 2 week span of time. And then in the second one, I would say, if I don't hear back from you, I'll check up back in with you again next month.
Okay.
Now, from there, I mean, you might say, okay, 3 points of contact, and then that's it. I'm out. Or you could do like the last one would be, hi Kay, I know you might be busy. I'm not sure where you're at in the process. It looks like the job posting is still open. I just wanted to let you know I'm still very interested. This will be the last email I sent you unless I hear differently from you, as
Okay.
I'm continuing to explore other opportunities. So at that point, you're kind of letting them know that, hey, I'm on the market right now and I'm looking around. If you're not gonna respond back, I'm gonna go talk to other people.
Yeah.
But at least I think the goal here is that you're showing initiative. A lot of people won't do that follow up, especially for entry level positions. They're just going to wait and keep their fingers crossed. So that could bring you apart from the clutter of candidates looking. And then also, it's like, hey, I'm not desperate. I'll go look elsewhere. I'll take my
Right.
time elsewhere. So that's one tip for you.
Right.
I want to add bring in one suggestion and kind of related to something that were talking about in the pre-show. Kenneth Lang is asking, have you attended other networking events yet,
I
Sara?
have not yet. Other than what you host, I have not
Mhm.
attended anything else.
Okay, so other than what I post, you mean like the Meller marketing events, or what do you mean by that?
Your events, the ones that you host.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit. And this is a nice segue into the pre-call conversation we had. You have recently joined an organization called Together Digital, correct?
Correct. Yes.
All right. So tell us, and I know the answers to these things, but for our audience's benefit, how did you first hear about Together Digital and why did you join the organization?
I heard about Together Digital through you.
Mhm.
They were doing a mentor mentee program, and you told me it would be really good to join, to meet new people, to network, and I did. I applied to join, and then they accepted me and were very happy to have me. And I've so far connected with people, joined on Slack, talked to a few people here and there. I haven't been assigned my mentor yet, but very soon I will be getting them.
Okay, good. So, and this is just the start of the program for you, Sara. And I know this whole world of networking is probably new to you, right? Because you really haven't done too
Mhm.
much networking in
Right,
college, I guess. And networking, just to kind of back this up, it can seem very scary and very intimidating. You're meeting strangers, right? I mean, you're like out there, and you're kind of at the start of your career when you go to these events. Sometimes you'll see people that know each other. And
right.
depending on the organization that you go to, whether it's virtual or in person, they may be very welcoming to new members and visitors and guests, and they may be maybe not as welcoming. Not that they're trying to shun you, but sometimes people get comfortable and cliquish. Oh, I know Kenneth Lang. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing? And some new person walks in, and I don't pay attention to them. The good organizations, and I'll say Together Digital is one of those, will welcome you. So if you were to come to a virtual event, everyone will meet each other in the chat, or if you come to an in-person event, you'll get the chance to meet people in
Mhm,
person as well. So, and what I love about this organization is it's all women and they're in all walks of digital marketing, agency, consultants, freelancers, you get a little bit of everything. So, and digital marketing, since that's the world that you're going to be working in, I think it's really going to benefit you throughout your career. Now, one thing you could do as a recent college graduate and somebody who is just starting to build up their professional experiences, Sara, is you could add this to your LinkedIn profile in your experience section, noting your membership. So, and
Okay.
we talked about this in the pre-show. Sarah knows I'm asking her to do that. So Sarah, what I want you to do right now is I want you to share your screen because I'm going to walk you through the process of adding in Together Digital as a member in your experience section. I'm going to talk about why as we're doing that. So go ahead and start sharing your screen now. And I'll remind our viewing audience, if you're watching, and if you are in career transition or a new college graduate and you've joined a professional organization, this is something I recommend that you do as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down to your experience section, Sarah. And right next to the top of the experience, you're going to click on the little plus symbol there. So plus is to add things in. The pencil icon is to delete or erase or make edits. So we're going to click on add position. And this is a really great way of both showing your professional affiliation with the group and also bringing in more items into your experience section that are relevant to your role. So that in the title field, I want you to type in member, member, member. So it's not a paid job necessarily, but you are a member of the organization. And by the way, if you are a board member, you could put board member, or if you're an ambassador or a committee member or something, you could put something like that. What type of member are you? We're going to skip the next section, employment type. Company name, you're going to start typing in Together Digital until you see the logo appearing below. There you go. The very first one. Click on that. Location, you don't necessarily have to fill in anything in there. And Together Digital is a national organization, so you don't need to put that in there. Now, under start date and start the month and the year, Sarah, when did you join the organization?
Last month, so in May.
Okay, but I want to give you the benefit of getting that push notification coming out from LinkedIn. So instead of putting May, we're going to put June. So put the
Okay.
start month of June, and then you're going to select the year of 2022. And I am currently a member is selected, so you don't have to fill in the end date on there. Industry, online media. Let's see if marketing is a part of that. Can you type in the word marketing? Is that a category still? Marketing services. Maybe online media might be the better fit. What do you think,
Okay.
Sarah?
I think online, yeah.
Okay. 'Cause that's a little bit closer to digital, I think, too. Now it's saying online. Look at that. It changed the industry name. LinkedIn, what are you doing to us on here? Let's go back to let's try is advertising a category? Let's try that. I want to see if advertising and marketing comes up. No, advertising services. All right. So you've got advertising services, you've got marketing services, and then you've got online media and video. I would probably go towards marketing services for you, Sarah. What do you think?
Okay. I agree, yes.
Okay. We want to choose the one that's the most relevant. And I'm hoping eventually LinkedIn will either expand the list or show us the full list so we can see all of these in totality. But for now, let's choose the category that best fits both describing the organization, but also let's think about through the lens of hiring managers. We want to come up in more searches related to jobs and positions that are in the category you're looking for, which would probably be marketing services. Now, in the description field, Sarah, before the call, I messaged you into the private chat in StreamYard and I gave you a description of the company. So could you grab that and then drop that inside the description field? And
Yes.
for those of you who are watching this right now, what I recommend is in your experience section, you always include a description of the company or organization followed by a description of your role. Now, I gave you some little icons in here, Sarah. What I want you to do is before the laptop icon, I want you to hit the paragraph break and then push that down. So now you've got join today. So we're directing people where they could go to learn more and then upcoming events underneath that. After the upcoming events at the end of that line where it says calendar, click on your mouse there and then click on 2 lines to add a space in there, like a paragraph break. And then I joined as a member to help build my network with fellow women in marketing, comma, technology, comma, uh, you might even say digital marketing, comma. So we're using the word digital marketing in there.
Mhm.
And then anything else. Let's see, what do we have? Marketing, technology, digital marketing, online media, etc. And you can always come back to this later, Sarah, and modify
Mhm.
this a bit, but I want you to think about including keywords in there that are going to help you to come up in search. And
Okay.
also, it helps to demonstrate what value you're getting out of this role as you're in that role. All right. So we're not going to change your headline in there. We're going to scroll down. And then LinkedIn's also saying, hey, here are some skills that you could potentially link to this position. Now you're still pretty early on in a member. of Together Digital. You certainly could add some skills. Let's say you work in a volunteer role, you join a committee and you're using project management, or you're using website design, or you're using email marketing. You could add some skills to your profile to demonstrate that in the role. Under
Okay.
media, Sarah, if there's anything that you wanted to link to inside there or upload in terms of PDFs or pictures or things like that, you can add it. What I would do if I were you is click on add media, and then I want you to click on add a link, and then open up in another tab. If you could go to togetherindigital.com, which is the website for this organization. So same thing for folks that are watching, go to the homepage of the organization website, grab that link, and then I want you to go back into the media section, click on add, and then give it just a second. It doesn't look like the logo was clicking on there correctly. Let's try it one more time. Let's click. If you click on add, it's not doing anything, is it there?
Mm-mm.
Let's go back up to go in the click on the back arrow. You might have to discard it here. That's okay. We're going to click on discard. And then go back up to the description. You remember where we had the join link in there? Let's grab that join link instead. Let's see if that one. Sometimes the social share images aren't pulling properly because of LinkedIn settings, and other times it may be because there's no social share image set. That is a tongue twister. So let's go ahead and paste on that. Give that just a second. Okay, now we got an image that's showing up in there. And then if you wanted, you could add a description. You don't need to. You can just skip adding a description for now. Click on apply. So at least there's some image that's affiliated with that. And then one more thing you want to do before you add this to your profile, scroll all the way up to the top and make sure that notify network is turned on. When you do this, LinkedIn will push out a notification, and it'll go in your first level connections notifications bell icon. It'll say, congratulate Sarah on joining Together Digital as member, or something to that effect. So it kind of announces it as a new job posting. Now I want you to click on save here. Oh, before you do that, see where it says Together Digital? It looks like the logo dropped out. Oh, no, but still there. That was a
Mhm.
LinkedIn hiccup. I noticed it right before we clicked on it. Okay, now we're going to click on the X icon there at the top, right? And the final thing I want you to do is I want you to go to your experience section, and I want you to drag Together Digital to the second position, because your paid job for now is Meller Marketing. This Together Digital is really a volunteer role. So what you want to do is at the top where you have the up and down caret, click on that. It's a little bit tricky, and then click on the hamburger lines off to the side, and then you'll just drag that below Meller Marketing, and then click on X. So what happens here is the most recent position that you add to your experience section is always put at the top, as long as it is an open position, meaning you're actively in that role or you're showing as a current employee. So the latest goes to the top, but we can still put Together Digital below your paid job that's in there. And by the way, Sarah, another thing you'll want to do as a candidate is add in a description for your company. We're going to talk about that probably in another call, another time later. But that's it. Now, if you click on the back arrow next to experience, and then you'll see that this is now listed in your experience section. So now you've got two areas of expertise, experience that you can pull from that are listed in your LinkedIn profile and potentially on your resume as well. And that's it. And for Together Digital members, we're going to be sharing this video out with you. But thank you, Sarah, for allowing me to
Mhm.
walk you through that. Did you find that helpful, having a little bit of
Yes.
a tutorial going through?
Yes, I did find it very helpful. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to stop the screen share now, and we're going to go back to some additional questions. So Kenneth Lang had asked the question, which took us in a really nice diversion direction here, which was, have you attended any other networking events? So as a member of Together Digital, Sarah, you have access to coffee chats, virtual
Mhm.
events. There's job search strategies, like peer circle groups that you can go to as well. So check those out, and you are at the benefit of working and learning from all of these women who are already working in the field. They're going to help
Mhm.
you and give you advice. So take full advantage of that. And Christopher Johnson, hey, Christopher is agreeing, include professional organizations groups in networking. There may be leads there. Absolutely. And Sarah, I think, anytime you come into a group, you're going to add your introduction into chat,
Right.
remind people you're looking for this role. And Annette is saying internships are a great experience for your resume. Recruiters tell me they want candidates to follow up. So there you go, Sarah. Not just me, but Annette's saying the same thing.
Okay.
Kenneth Lang has another tip for you, Sarah, and this is to connect with alumni. I know I've kept you pretty busy in this internship, and you've been watching a lot of my videos on using LinkedIn for job search. And this is one of the tips I have for you. So have you been connecting with fellow alumni at U of M Dearborn, or is
I
that
have
something?
not yet. Gary's like the only person who I've connected with that I haven't met already through the university, like old classmates. But yeah, I have not, and I will definitely have to do that.
There you go. So there may be some opportunities there. And remember, it's kind of a three-step process. Step one
Mhm,
is invite them to connect, make the invitation all about them. It's not about your
mhm,
job search in that step because you want to get them to accept the invitation. Step two, maybe there you plant the seed. Thanks for accepting my invitation, Kenneth. I'm currently looking for my first full-time job as a digital marketing specialist in Metro Detroit. And then maybe you open the door to figure out what you want next from that person. Would you be open to a phone chat sometime? Or do you have any suggestions on where I could look for jobs outside of the job boards? Do you know of any networking groups in the area? So start asking questions there. Related to that, Gary, is this the Gary that you were referring to? Did Gary go to U of
yeah,
M too? Okay.
yes.
So Gary says check with your LinkedIn connections to see if they know people in your target companies. You know what I would do if I were you, Sarah?
Mhm,
That list of target companies that you have, reach out to Gary and ask him if he has any connections at any of
mhm,
those companies.
yeah,
There you go. And, what I would do is, in addition to asking him, if he doesn't have any connections, ask him if he has suggestions on other people that you could
mhm,
speak with in the network there too.
mhm,
Another piece of advice from Kenneth, and by the way, we're talking today about job search strategies for new college graduates trying to help Sarah find her first full time job. Not that I want to have her leave my internship, but I know she can make more money and she can find a dream job elsewhere. Kenneth is saying connect with your friends and family on LinkedIn, including their parents. You never know who they know. Has that something that you've done yet, Sarah?
I have not. I have connected with a lot of friends and some family, but I haven't thought of like going beyond my friends' family and those people.
Yeah, the parents especially because they're working,
Mhm,
they're in the field. You never know. So
yeah.
that's a good tip there. And Mindy agrees with Kenneth on connecting with alumni from your college to broaden your network. And reminder too, you can use filters so you can find people who attended University of Michigan or University of Michigan Dearborn. I would tap into both of those networks who
Mhm,
work in the field of marketing or start applying that dream list, the company filters in there as well. Maybe you find somebody
mhm,
who works for that company who can help you to get an in there as well. And Annette, thank you for sharing this, Annette, because I agree. I remember when I was a college graduate, oh, it was so awkward reaching out to recruiters to ask them questions. And even going to networking events can feel very awkward. And that's a great piece of advice, Sarah. If you're at an in-person event, go up to someone else who is by themselves and just say, yeah, I always use the have you been to this group before or are you a member of this group yet? Is this your first time too? Because it's that awkward. Let's be awkward together. We're both new
mhm,
here.
yeah,
I gravitate to the coffee pot myself because I always make friends over there.
mhm.
Do you know if University of Michigan, do they have an online and alumni networking portal or group? Do you know anything about that?
I'm not sure. I think they do, but I have not looked into it yet.
hmm There you go. So that's another thing to do. We're giving you a lot of to-dos to add
Mhm,
to your job search list here. All right. Sue liked that we added that professional organization to experience, and that's something you do throughout your career. Even for Together Digital, at some point, Sarah, you might serve on local leadership as an ambassador or join a committee or things like that. And you could add that in on there. All right, let's see. I want to see if anyone else has any questions for Sarah or advice for Sarah. Please feel free to drop them into comments. I'm going to keep going with a couple more questions on my side to ask Sarah or suggestions to give Sarah as well. So we've started target list. We've talked about networking. We've talked about reaching out to your career services department. Let's talk about posting on LinkedIn. How often are you posting right now, Sarah?
I'm trying to do once a week, but some weeks are busier than others, and I end up doing like every other week. But I'm
Okay.
mainly posting once a week.
Okay. And what are you posting about?
Anything really, either things I've been learning in this internship, things I've been doing in the internship, some, personal things. Like when I graduated, I posted a picture of like the hallway, like me walking in the hallway one last time. Just, things like that.
That's awesome, and I'm gonna pull your profile up as we're having this conversation right now, um, to see if we can offer Sarah any additional tips on her profile, on her activity on LinkedIn. You've got some great keywords in your headline field here, Sarah. One piece of advice I want to offer you, see where you have marketing/social and there's no space before the slash mark.
Mm-hmm.
What I have heard is LinkedIn reads that as one word and nobody's
Okay.
going to type in marketing/social. So
Okay.
what you're really trying to do is you want to have digital marketing come up as a keyword or social media as a keyword. So what I would do if I were you is add a space after
Okay.
the G and before the S. That will help to make those unique keywords that will help you to come up in more searches there.
Okay.
Okay. And then let's see, let's go down to your activity feed and I'm going to click on show all activity and we're going to see if we can offer Sarah any suggestions on her posting activity here on LinkedIn. I'm going to go right to post. And she did post and shared about the LinkedIn Live discussion here. Now you can add LinkedIn Live guest in your resume because now you've
Mm-hmm.
appeared as a guest and that's now experience that you could share with your future employer as
Mm-hmm.
well. And so I see here you did a reshare of this event. I think that was the same posting. There's some things that you've done inside the private group, the job seeker group. 2 weeks ago, you talked about moving the blog from my old website to my new website. And then you said, how many hashtags do you use for website blog? 7 comments on here. And I always tell you, you should reply back to every single comment, and you have done so. So you did a great job on there. What I would do as well is sometimes, in addition to thanking the person, ask them a clarifying question.
Okay.
So Nick, for example, he's saying, one thing I know is tags and categories should be different. Having redundancies can cause SEO issues. Thanks for this insight, Nick. Are there any websites or publications that you use to find advice like these? And then he
Okay.
might reply back and say, yes, check out at social media today, or check out Morning Brew Marketing Edition, or he might give you some suggestions and tag them in on there.
Okay.
A month ago, you did a poll. So you said, as I'm applying to different, one thing you'll want to do in here, Sarah, is just correct the capitalization for the word I on there. And
Okay.
it might have been a voice to texting or it might have been an intentional, but just click on the 3 dots and then you'll get the option to edit the post. We want to make sure we have very good grammar capitalization on there. What websites do you use to recommend find jobs on? And you had 19 votes, 11 comments on there. I missed that one myself. So great job on there. And then you have some folks that are commenting back on there. Now, in
Mm-hmm.
addition to replying back, are you also inviting these people to connect when they engage
Yes.
with your post?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. And then are you looking at their companies to see if they have any open roles?
Sometimes I am, sometimes
Okay.
I'm not.
All right, depending on the company, probably, and
Right.
depending on the
Right.
geography they're in, right? So I
Yeah.
want you to think through this lens of, we're not just putting out posts all the time just for posting activity, but you're kind of like a fisherman throwing a net out and you're trying to catch leads. And in your case, the leads that you're trying to catch are connections that could lead you to your dream job to help you out
Mhm.
on there. All right. So great job on posting there. Keep up the good work. I want to encourage you to, in addition to doing the reshares on LinkedIn, to try to do new original content. And I want to encourage you, you've learned so much through this internship. You could probably do a post a week on something that you learned in the internship that you could share with others. Would you agree,
Mhm.
Sarah?
Yes, I definitely could do
Does that
that.
does that sound like a challenge I've just posed to you? Because it kind of is. So there's my challenge for you. I'm going to say every week on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you have to post something that you learned during the internship and then share it in a way that is helping to educate your LinkedIn community. Is that
Okay.
something you think you can try and do?
Yes, definitely.
All right, we're going to look for it. And those folks that are watching, whether you're watching live or in playback, if you don't see a Sarah by next week, Wednesday, message her and say,
Yes.
hey, I haven't seen your tip yet this week. We're going to help to create some built in accountability for you.
Yes.
All right, we're starting to reach the end of our time here together. I want to see if there's any final comments that have come into chat here for you, Sarah, and then we'll start to wrap up here. Um, let's see here. First, Gary says, remember in your job search, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It is some of what you know, because you're not going to apply to be a brain surgeon without having
Right.
experience working in the medical field. But I definitely agree with you, Gary. When you're going through that process, building up connections is so important, and building up a great network is important. Hey, Joey, thank you so much for watching. Joey is agreeing, saying alumni banks are the best. And then also staff in the Alumni Association. That's a really great point, Annette. Thank you for sharing that. reach out to University of Michigan, find out where the Alumni Association is, who heads that up, and connect with them on LinkedIn, because those are the people that are connectors. They know the
Mhm.
people that are active as alumni. And you might even, when you connect with them in your follow-up note, let them know that you've recently graduated, you're looking to network and learn more from people who work in the digital marketing field. Do you know of any U of M alumni who work in digital marketing that might be open to chatting with me?
Okay.
Let's start cracking some of those doors open that aren't already open yet, right?
Mhm.
Throughout your career, Sarah, I think you're going to find that some jobs you will find from a job board, but more often you're going to find a job from a referral, from a connection, or if it's something you applied on a job board, the way you're going to get that door to swing wide open is by getting somebody to bring you through the process.
Mhm.
So be sure to check that out. And one final piece of advice from Christopher: expand your net. Love that you're using my fisherman analogy. Expand your net by including suppliers or vendors of targeted companies. So that's something to think about as well. All right, Sarah. So I'm going to give you one final opportunity to remind people who are watching here today, whether they're watching live or playback, or maybe sharing this video along with others later. Tell us again what you are looking for. What is your targeted job title, targeted geographic area, if you could?
So I'm looking for a digital marketing or social media entry level role in either remote or in the Detroit metropolitan area.
Wonderful. And what is your availability? When are you available to start?
Um, I am available any day, anytime.
Awesome. With a 2-week notice to her current employer, Meller
Yes, of
Marketing, of
course.
course. And of course, I'll provide you a glowing reference because you've done such a great job helping me and working and supporting me. I want to pull up your LinkedIn profile up on screen here, Sarah. Are you open to connecting with folks that are watching this live video show?
Yes, I pretty much connect with anyone. I appreciate a note as to how you found me, like you encourage people to do. I love seeing people's notes. So yes, include a note if you want to connect with me.
Awesome. So when you visit Sarah's profile, you're going to see the blue connect button. When you click on that, you want to click on add a note and then mention that you saw Sarah on the show with Brenda Meller, like mention me by name so that she knows where that's where you found her from. And if you are aware of any opportunities for Sarah, or if you have advice for Sarah, please do let her know that as well. And one final thing, I'm going to ask you to help me with this, Sarah, because now you are an admin on my StreamYard and you will have the ability to share a banner. So I want you to go to the third banner down that says, "Did you enjoy this discussion? Share this video." Could you go ahead and click on that right now? There we go. So thank you, StreamYard, by the way. I'm going to give a shout out to StreamYard for making this available. The challenging part for me is always when I'm hosting these live video streams, it's you're piloting, you're co-piloting, you're trying to entertain your guests, you're trying to keep the audience engaged, and then you're trying to pull up the banners. And I'm like, where's this next banner on here? So I want to kind of end this conversation today by reminding whether you're watching this in live or in playback, could you do me a favor? And that is, as soon as you're done watching this, you'll see at the bottom of the video, you'll see it says share. If you could click on share and you can share that video out as a LinkedIn post. If you have not yet posted this year, this month, this week, you can share the video along with your network and maybe tell some people something that you learned, or you might have some advice for new college graduates. And you might say, watch this video if you are a new college graduate or know someone who is. And thank you at Sara Hammoudeh, like tag her in the video so that she knows that you're sharing that along. And Sarah, thank you for taking the time to be on camera. I know this can be a little bit intimidating sitting in that seat, but I hope that you found the experience beneficial.
Yes, I found it very beneficial and very helpful, and all the comments were very helpful as well. So thank you so much for having me, Brenda.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing your time with us today and for
Mhm.
being on with us today. What we're going to do now is we're going to start to wind down the video. One final thing I'm going to have you do, Sarah, if you could click on the brand tab. And then as soon as I tell you go, I'm going to have you click on the outro video, but wait for me for just 1 second. I love that this is giving us live experience practicing this, because I might have you help me out on some of the future lives as well. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again. We're normally every Tuesday LinkedIn Live on the Social Media Pie interviews. Today we did a special Thursday edition, but be sure to watch us every Tuesday and we will see you in the future. Take care. Go ahead and click on that button now, Sarah. Thank you.